This is a situation that I keep hearing about a lot. Now, I actually haven't watched this original video, but I know a lot of my good VTuber buddies have been seeing this video and watching it. And I've definitely heard about the situation, don't get me wrong. But anyways, hello my disciples. I'm Doc the Damned, and today we are watching, for the first time on the channel, Mujin? Hopefully I got the name right. We're watching how PETA turned an entire country against it overnight. And I'm no stranger to this company. I've heard about some of their antics before, about, the animals that they've taken in before, and not many of them having a high survival rate at all. And I do not like the company whatsoever. So I was just not really surprised to see them get into another controversy. But a controversy like this, I wasn't expecting. But then again, they did do a whole campaign against Pokemon, so I guess going against a gacha game wouldn't be out of their league either. So, without further ado, let's full screen, and let's get started, because I am curious to see what the situation is fully about.
Typically, when you see someone abuse a pet or animal on the internet, then chances are you'll probably see someone in the comments somewhere saying, "Call PETA."
I think that's a bad thing, to be honest. Again, if you've done the research on PETA, you know about the statistics of the animals they take in, about how not many of them actually end up surviving or even looked after well enough. There are plenty of other animal safety charities and groups that do a better job than PETA ever did. They're just the one with the biggest name, or I guess the most infamous one, so that's why they make the joke.
In fact, one could even argue that this has been a thing on the internet for as long as we can remember. But what is PETA anyway? Well, it stands for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
If that isn't the biggest misnomer, I don't know what is, guys. No, it is not ethical at all. You'll see.
What a wonderful name for an organization. Okay, well, what do they fight for? Animal rights? That's awesome. Well, not quite. Here's how they describe their own mission on their website.
Oh, here we go.
Animals are not ours to experiment on, eat, wear, use for entertainment, or abuse in any other way. Okay, kind of extremist, right? The idea that no one's allowed to eat animals? That's the
Yeah, they don't really take into account people who live in third world countries, or those who don't have the luxury to, eat a vegetarian diet or limit the amount of animals they kill or eat. Not every single person in the world has that privilege, and, we eat animals for a reason. It's kept us as a race going, You can argue the ethical stuff behind it all you want, but there's a reason why people do it. They do it to live, and to be honest, I think as humans we should value our own survivability a little bit more. I'm not saying that animal abuse is good or anything. I'm absolutely against it, but there are reasons for why people hunt and kill animals. It works.
definitely interesting, but most people can definitely agree with the other parts. But how is it that an organization like this managed to make so many generations of people be aware of its existence?
Infamy, that's why, and all of the stunts they've pulled.
How does it have such a monopoly over the topic of animal rights? Well, it's actually all thanks to their marketing strategy. You see, ever since PETA was created in the 1980s, they knew that people had bigger worries than wondering where animals came from and how they
I actually didn't know that PETA was it was made in the 1980s. I thought it was a more recent company, but
were processed in factories. So to truly get their message across, their strategy has always been to grab headlines by any means necessary.
And oh god, what a horrible frame to pause on, Jesus. I was gonna say, hate PETA or not, you can't deny that they are efficient when it comes to their advertising and marketing and stuff. You know what they say, all press is good press, good or bad. But yeah, I don't agree with any of this. But again, what a horrible frame to pause on.
For decades, PETA would be synonymous with ridiculous marketing campaigns.
Oh
This
yeah.
right here is one of the most famous examples. A group of naked women laying in coffins in public saying they'd rather be caught dead than wear animal fur.
Yeah, you can see the ethical problems behind this, can't you? What if families and stuff walk by and see that randomly on the street? No, that would not fly. I do not approve of that.
Things like this became an important part of PETA's DNA, and it would help them spread awareness about their cause and their organization to multiple generations. But that's, of course, until Gen Z came along. A generation that kind of grew up understanding what they were, but by the time they became adults, became so desensitized by the internet that nothing really shocked them anymore.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. That's a thing a lot of people don't really think about a lot when it comes to Gen Z. And oh my god, again, another frame, I swear. You know, we do get desensitized to things on the internet. The internet spread so rapidly, so quickly. Every single aspect, you know, good or bad that humans do, just kind of went ballistic. So yeah, it does make sense why a lot of people are desensitized to that sort of stuff. Doesn't mean it should happen, of course, but it is unfortunate, that's just how it is.
PETA had used the same strategy for decades now, shock and boldness. The problem with this strategy, though, is that over time, for it to remain effective, every campaign you make has to be more shocking than the previous one.
Yeah, that's true.
The line between bull shock and rage bait is extremely thin. And for years now, PETA has been absolutely clueless about the fact that they had crossed it a while ago. They had
Oh yeah, they've definitely pushed that boundary several times before. But you know, whatever will get them clicks or money or attention, they will do it. But yeah, I just think it's horrible that people sacrifice their morals and stuff for a quick buck.
essentially gone from very bold marketing campaigns that no one had ever done before to now posting an AI-generated image of a fish being cut into sushi.
Oh, well, I guess that's also going to make people angry if they do freaking AI artwork. I do not approve of AI artwork, of course. You know, I've drawn, I'm not a good artist, but I've spent several hours on it. And you guys have seen my recent video, you guys know I'm very passionate about artwork. So yeah, that's just another way that PETA has screwed the pooch in this regard.
Calling it artistic rendering and being community noted.
Yeah, you know, I hate Twitter and a lot of stuff on it, but community notes, easily one of the best things they've ever added.
That's just plain embarrassing. For years now, this has been PETA's reality. They're nothing more than just rage baiters, and they failed to see that. They've completely lost the plot. And speaking of losing the plot, it turns out that PETA actually enjoys killing animals more than rescuing them.
Yep, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. One of my good buddies, the Dark Reindeer, before he retired from YouTube, he made several videos on PETA and about what they did, basically. They would claim they would take animals in and rehabilitate them, but when the statistics came out, it was like a very small percentage of animals they actually took in survived. No, they'd end up killing them, euthanizing them, etc. A lot of the time just because they couldn't be asked to do it. It's really sad.
After numerous investigations spanning across multiple years, many have been able to conclude that PETA enjoys killing animals way more than just putting them up for adoption and finding them a new loving home. Why? Because they believe owning a pet dog is slavery.
What kind of backwards logic is that, really?
I wish I was kidding. Don't believe me? Well, the founder of PETA herself said that pet ownership is an abysmal situation and argued in a 2014 interview that outdoor cats should just be killed. It's better for them.
Yeah, you guys are beginning to see the problem here, aren't you? For a company that claims to be ethical towards animals, and they're saying, oh, it's just easier, it's more simpler to kill cats that aren't being owned, or cats that are living outside. It's stupid, it really is. Owning pets is a good thing, because a lot of the time, animals help us, and we help them by providing them shelter, providing them food, and providing them love. A lot of the times there are some animals that just can't live in the wild, be it they have a disability, maybe like, I don't know, they've lost a limb, you know, in the wild, amongst other factors. And because of us intervening and helping those animals, they lived a life, and they didn't die out in the wild. So I believe if you care and look after an animal, people should be allowed to own them. They call dogs man's best friend for a reason. We love animals most of the time. I know there are some bad people, but, you know, we don't like them.
By now, intro of this video, you're probably wondering, okay, how the hell does this organization even still exist? And how can it possibly get any worse? Well, recently, PETA decided that killing animals is not enough. They decided to openly tarnish the legacy of a dead animal. And
oh, f off. Honestly, no, that is where I draw the line there. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, I'm locked in here. Let's see what he has to say.
the backlash that they experienced was biblical.
No kidding.
You see, Silent Suzuka was a Japanese racehorse with an unrivaled legacy. I mean, he was extremely fast and well known globally to anyone who followed horse racing. However, in 1998, his life ended after a tragic injury on the track.
Aw, I'm sad. I don't know the horse. You know, obviously I don't watch Japanese media and the other sort, but I know about beloved animals that lose their lives and they become icons for people. You know, they really do look up to these animals, you know, find them cool and interesting and inspiring. So, you know, you have to cherish the animals. They don't live as long as we do. And, you know, they deserve their legacy for all the good they do. So yeah, rest in peace.
What really made Silent Suzuka stand out during that incident, though, is that even though he was in horrendous pain, he didn't flip out, he didn't try to injure his jockey, no. He silently went to the side of the track, dropped off his jockey, and when he was sure that his human rider was safe, proceeded to collapse. Yeah, he was one hell of a horse.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, this is where this comes in, because, yeah, they're gonna cross the line in a way that the internet didn't really expect, but yeah, here we go.
Now in 2021, the mobile game Umamusume Pretty Derby would come out in Japan. It would be an anime horse girl racing game, with every one of these anime girls representing a famous Japanese racehorse.
And this is one of Starlight Sid's favorite games. You know, we talked about this a few times on a server. So yeah, I imagine she was very pissed off when she heard about this.
This game would prove to be extremely successful in Japan, would release globally in 2025, and would make billions of dollars.
Oh yeah, I heard all about this game. I've seen so many people talking about it. I've never actually played it myself, you know. Maybe it could be like a fun video if you guys wanted me to, but yeah, I've never played it myself, but I've heard good things about it.
And one of the horses that was immortalized as an anime horse girl was none other than Silent Suzuka.
Ah, I see. Yeah, I can tell because of the colorations.
In fact, Umamusume would even have an anime, and Silent Suzuka would make an appearance there too. So as you can see, this was a very well-beloved and very well-respected horse to this day. So what the hell could have PETA possibly done to create a worldwide backlash?
Oh, just you wait if you don't know about this.
Did they pay their respects to this wonderful animal that showed incredible compassion to humans in its final moments?
Of course they didn't. No, they did something a lot worse.
Of course not. They instead would post a disgusting image of the anime horse girl version of Silent Suzuka with a grotesque leg injury where you can see the bone protrude outside of the skin.
Yeah, this is just f***ing disgusting. This is absolutely horrible. I mean, PETA can hate what they want, you know, they can dislike games and how they portray animals, but like, this is crossing the line in so many ways. This is just downright gore pictures, gore artwork. Not only that, they're disrespecting an entire country and an entire game to push a message. I have no words. I'm genuinely very pissed off that they did this, and I'm very glad that the internet came together and just said, no, this is not right, we are not doing this. Because yeah, I personally would not stand for this. This is horrible.
Arguing that if the game was honest, your favorite horse girl wouldn't get any comeback arcs.
It's a anime game. They're animal fearings. What, realism in an anime game? Oh my god, what are they expecting? Oh, Jesus Christ. Separate it, guys. It's a video game, Peter. It's a video game. It's not like real horses. They're anime girls who happen to have, like, horse attributes. They're called fearing characters. My god, do your research.
One failed event and the race is over, just like what happened to the real Silent Suzuka. Now look, PETA had been fucking around.
Here we go. Here's the Pokemon thing they did. This is actually a game they did, Pokemon Black and Blue. And again, it is extremely disturbing. To be honest, Nintendo's response, you know, we hate Nintendo a lot of the times for the stuff they do, but Nintendo's response was to basically just not give them any attention. Nintendo definitely knows about this game. They made a statement about it. But they basically just said, PETA, you're not worth it. We're not going to do anything. And yeah, Pokemon Black and Blue is one of the most infamous examples of PETA shenanigans. Also, hello there, Rima Evenstar. I might watch one of your videos as well because I'm a big fan of you.
For years and had faced barely any consequences. This time, though, they fucked around and they found out.
You're goddamn right they found out. And about time they did.
Because not only did this post get viewed 16.4 million times, not only are there 11,000 replies completely shitting on their entire existence, not only did this post get community noted, but it even prompted a Japanese politician to speak out on this disgusting behavior.
Yeah, so the Japanese, they take their culture, they take what they value very seriously, you know? And you gotta respect that. Yeah, they messed around big time for this. And again, I'm so glad. Basically, they just summoned the Avengers of the internet. Everybody came together and just said, no, PETA, we're not doing that. And I'm very glad they did.
As well as the owner of Silent Suzuka.
Oh.
Guys, this was probably one of the worst things PETA could have ever done to their reputation. More and more people are looking into the fact that they're killing more animals than they're saving, with Japanese people in particular finding out the true nature of this company rather than thinking that they actually fight for animal rights. And unlike their usual rage bait, this time there were many people that destroyed the hell out of PETA with facts and logic.
Yeah, and again, about time as well. I hate to say this, but they needed to get off their high horse. I don't mean that as disrespect, of course, but I don't know, maybe we can use the pun as a weapon against PETA. Get out of here. But yeah, it's about time somebody finally called PETA out in a big way.
Actual real arguments that show that Umamusume Pretty Derby did a million times more than PETA could ever hope to achieve.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I imagine this brought a lot of respect to not only Japanese culture, but horses and horse racing in general. I imagine this was a lot of people's first time introduction to this sort of things, and it brings awareness to it. So yeah, they're doing a lot more than PETA ever could.
It was hilarious seeing this disgusting organization get pummeled to oblivion, and so that's why I thought I had to make a video about this.
Thank God you did.
You already know the drill. Let's do this. Alright, so look, as I mentioned in the intro, PETA gained prominence, or I should say relevancy, due to its shocking and bold marketing campaigns.
Indeed they did.
If dogs tasted like pork, would you eat them? What's the difference? Go vegan, showing the image of a dog with a pig's head. By PETA's own standards though, this was definitely soft. You see, one of the first instances of extremely shocking yet somewhat bold marketing campaigns was as far back as 1991.
Oh dang, Kurt Cobain was alive then. What do they do here?
Back then, one of America's most infamous serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer,
Oh no. Oh god. What are they gonna do here?
was captured. Jeffrey was someone who had captured 17 males and, well, got rid
Yeah, did some things we can't say because, you know, Daddy YouTube will be mad at us.
of their limbs. He would then place them in the fridge and eat them later, because guess what? The guy was a cannibal. What would PETA do? Well, they'd publish a newspaper advertisement pretty much likening meat packers to being exactly like Jeffrey Dahmer, someone who
Yep, this is what they do basically. They make outrageous claims, you know, taking things that are not linked at all but are really infamous and just trying to use it to push awareness for animal safety, quote unquote, even though we know they don't give a rip about animal safety.
killed 17 human beings. Now today, if this happened, no one would really care, but back then, people cared a lot. This caused unprecedented commotion, and it was exactly what PETA wanted. From their point of view, their mission is to get animal rights messages out to as many people as possible, which is why they try to make their actions colorful and controversial.
Colorful is a very strange word to use, but controversial is right on the dot.
Colorful is a very interesting word, all in the hopes of grabbing as many headlines around the world and spreading the message of kindness to animals to thousands, sometimes millions of people. They would then gloat that this approach has proved to be amazingly successful, and you know what, to their credit, initially it was. For the first 2 decades after PETA was established, they would spread awareness over some extremely inhumane conditions that many animals faced in different areas, whether it be factories, farms, or hell, even government agencies. The outrage following these investigations would help new laws be put in place. Laws that would either help animals get treated better or straight up shut down certain labs or agencies that would mistreat them. However, not all good things last forever, and at some point, PETA would lose the plot entirely. In fact, after my research, I can personally conclude that they had officially lost the plot by 2003.
Dang. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, yep, here we go.
They would release their newest marketing campaign, an exhibition titled Holocaust on a Plate.
I mean, what were they expecting with a title like Holocaust on a Plate? I mean, come on, really. If they wanted to get attention, they succeeded, but yeah, I don't even know. I have no words. It's just ridiculous.
And yes,
Oh, and of course, downright disrespectful.
it is as horrible as it sounds. In fact, here's a sign that you would find at this exhibition. On the left, you would see a Holocaust victim.
Yeah, I've heard this not only from PETA, but people like the vegan teacher, basically comparing the animals that we kill, like in a certain country, comparing it to the people who lost their lives during the Holocaust, which is one of the dumbest comparisons that I have ever heard in my entire life. You know, even if you do the tiniest bit of research into World War II and, you know, the events that went down during that horrible time, I mean, you don't even have to have an IQ of 22 to understand why the comparison is ridiculous. You know, that's what PETA does. Takes random things, link them together. As long as it's really controversial and infamous, as long as they get clicks, they'll do it.
That went through famine, and on the right, you would see a cow that went through famine. I don't think it would take a genius to understand that Jews back then were extremely angered by such a marketing campaign,
As they should.
likening the suffering of so many people in World War II to the idea of eating meat. I mean, come on. And at a certain point, this would just get old. People wouldn't take them as seriously anymore.
Yep, here they go again.
Around almost a decade later in 2014, PETA would release a marketing campaign in which they say that dog breeders are literally the Austrian painter, releasing a poster of a dog with the infamous, well, mustache.
And how is that an accurate comparison? Again, note this is just them, pulling the extremes.
And if you thought that wasn't bad enough, on the same year,
Oh, no, no. They did not just... No, 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 no. This is a load of malarkey. Want to know why? I'm autistic and I hate meat. Not meat. I hate milk. Sorry, I'm stammering because I'm really angry now. They don't know what they're talking about here.
if you went to PETA's website, you'd be greeted with, got autism?
Yes, I do.
Studies have shown a link between cow's milk and autism.
And studies have shown that I am a 24-year-old Japanese pop idol. Just because you say something doesn't make it true, mate.
Now, this confused the hell out of people, and it could mean one of two things. The first possibility is them saying that cow's milk causes autism, which is extremely incorrect. There's
No, there is so many other factors that could potentially cause autism, but cow's milk is definitely not one of them. I would know because I've done the research.
nothing in any way, shape, or form proving that. And the second possibility is them saying that only autistic people drink cow's milk, which I
What is that? That is absolutely terrible. My dad drinks milk and he's not autistic. This is a terrible comparison.
don't need to sit here and tell you. It sounds really bad. Pretty much saying that there's something very wrong with autistic people, which isn't the case. They're just people. You see what I meant in the intro? Once you make
Also, Mujin, by the way, thank you very much. Us from the autism community really appreciate that.
shocking statements, the only way to keep people's attention is to somehow make a shocking statement more shocking every single time.
I mean, this is what people do. It's why drama channels are so big on YouTube, The big, bold statements, the really eye-grabbing stuff, the really shocking, controversial stuff. That's what gets people's attention away from the mundane. That's what gets people clicking. As much as I hate it, you can't really blame them for choosing the strategy because it works.
But with the line between shocking and rage bait being so thin, yeah, it's no surprise by this point people thought PETA was a joke. Their stupid antics were starting to alienate vegans
Yeah, even during the pandemic, they started doing this malarkey.
from wanting to support them. That was their target audience. I mean, mid-pandemic in 2020, when people were wrestling with the fact that they had to be isolated for God knows how long, PETA comes out and says, oh, hey, yeah, this happened because of you meat eaters. Tofu never caused the pandemic. Dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I agree. STFU, Peter. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, mate.
Now, yes, this stupid attempt at rage bait is definitely funny. And while I'd love to just sit here and laugh, unfortunately, when it comes to PETA, their existence is actually a problem, especially if you like animals.
Oh, yeah.
You see, this organization is nothing more than just a group of extremists.
And here's where we get into the really bad stuff. This is the true dark side of PETA here that I have seen and heard about a few times in the past. This is where we're going to get into some really disturbing stuff, so if you've struggled to hear about these things, there's your warning, guys.
In 2017, two PETA employees would kidnap a 9-year-old's chihuahua. They assumed that it was a stray that needed to be euthanized because of
I have no words other than to say this is beyond f***ed up in every regard.
Of course, they hate the idea of putting up a dog for adoption. However, state laws say that they have to hold the pet for 5 days to make sure there's no owner that, well, will come and claim it. They chose to ignore that rule and euthanize this poor chihuahua within the same day.
You gotta feel bad for the family and the girl. I mean, she's 9 years old. Imagine hearing this, seeing it, and all they get is a weak sorry. I bet that traumatized her.
The family ended up suing the organization and PETA paid them $49,000 to
Nowhere near enough.
settle. But that poor girl is probably traumatized for life.
Yeah, you can't pay any amount of money to fix that. Not at all. $49,000 is nothing compared to the mental scar that she has to deal with now because a stupid company decided to kidnap and kill a dog.
But I wish that was the worst thing they'd done. In 2005, 2 years after their completely tone-deaf Holocaust marketing campaign, some people would start noticing that the dumpsters behind a supermarket in North Carolina
Oh, yep, I heard about this as well.
was filled with dead animals, specifically cats and dogs. Well, it turned out it was none other than PETA. The two employees in question would be acquiring these pets by lying to veterinarians, telling them they're going to put them up for adoption, and then just euthanizing them in the same day in the back of their van.
Still believe that they care about animals? I thought not. But yeah, this is the stuff I've heard about from the Dark Reindeer when he did his videos on this. And yeah, it is beyond disgusting. And this is why I hate the charity or company, whatever the hell it is. It's why I've always hated it.
The veterinarian who had given these pets to PETA thinking they would get adopted would later say they were in good health and were very adoptable, especially the kittens. It was tragic, and yet PETA was able to get away with this because of a stupid law in the US that says that PETA and other shelters are allowed to kill owner-relinquished animals for virtually any reason at any time without any effort to find them homes.
And that is a very disgusting and very stupid law, as you guys know now. And yeah, that shouldn't exist. That should not exist at all.
But of course, politicians don't care about actual important matters like this. And
true, very true. And yet they're still doing it even to this day.
Finally, if you want something a bit more recent to truly show you how disgusting PETA is, then look no further. This was a study published in February 4th, 2025, examining the rate of death of animals in PETA shelters in the year of 2024. Now, PETA is established in the state of Virginia. The average rate of euthanasia for all agencies in Virginia,
it's not even close. You just wonder what the hell are they even doing? What's the point? If they're euthanizing nearly like 3/4 of all of the animals they take in, why the bloody hell are they even looking after animals in the first place? Well, looking after is a strong word, but why are they even doing it? Why are they even doing it? I'll never get it.
Is 10%. That means that 90% of their animals find a new home. They successfully get adopted, with 10% being euthanized, which is reasonable. Some cats or dogs they might find on the street might have a very bad disease, they could be on their last legs.
Exactly.
And giving them euthanasia is the most humane thing to do, that way they don't squirm in pain for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, you know, that is the one time, like, when the animal is really suffering, or it has a disease that they can't treat, or it's a danger to itself or others, I think that's the time when euthanasia is needed. But 69, 67, and 64% is just beyond unacceptable.
PETA, on the other hand, euthanizes 64% of their dogs, 69% of their cats, and 67% of all animals in general that are held in their shelters. Think about this for a second. Only 30% somehow find a new home. The majority find themselves dead.
It's like they're treating animals like toys, you know. Oh, hey there, this looks cool. Plays with it 5 minutes. Nah, I'm done with you. I'm throwing you out. I'm getting the next one. No, PETA, you can't do that with animals, mate. The internet does not agree on that. There's the one of the rules on the internet. You don't mess with animals, or, you know, pets and stuff. You don't mess with pets.
Does that seem like an organization that likes animals to you? I mean, look at this. In 2014, they euthanized 96% of their cats.
It's so consistent. Look at this. It's not even gone down significantly. I mean, well, I guess the cat rate's gone down from 96 to 78, but, like, it's always consistently, like, in the mid-50s or the mid to early 60s, or even sometimes the 70s and stuff. What are they doing? And this is over 10 years. A full decade has passed. I'll never understand it.
Very interesting, right? Especially seeing that the founder of PETA has already expressed the fact that stray cats shouldn't exist. In other words, they should all be killed. I mean, I just find it so disgusting, but also so fascinating. PETA always likes to ignore the fact that humans and animals are fundamentally different, which is why we shouldn't eat them. Does that mean we should euthanize 69% of children that are currently in shelters waiting to be adopted by a family?
Maybe if it went against their goals one day, they might consider it. Wouldn't put it past them, unfortunately.
Wonder what this failure of an organization would say. Oh wait, I actually know exactly what they would say.
Wait, they actually okay, I was joking. They actually commented, oh god.
One look at their social media in 2025.
Oh, of course they did. Wow. And here I thought they had some kind of... Oh, that's my mistake there. Wow. No. No.
And the only thing you'll find is rage bait. That's what they still thrive on. They want views, they want relevancy at any cost, no matter how stupid they might look in the public's eyes.
I think the best way to take down PETA is to just not give them any response. Don't react to it. Just let them fizzle away into obscurity. They'll try everything. They'll try every card on their deck. But if you ignore them, just don't give them any attention, they'll run out. They'll fade away. I feel like that's a fate worse than death for PETA. Being forgotten.
And it's that same exact philosophy that made them fuck around and find out when it came to one of the most loyal communities on the internet. And it resulted in them wiping the floor with PETA's pathetic ass.
Yeah, damn right.
This all brings us back to the game Umamusume Pretty Derby. Available both on PC and mobile.
I'll definitely have to... Honestly, if you guys want me to play this, I'll definitely give it a try. So let me know in the comments if you want to see me play it.
It pretty much took over the world this year. In fact, if you were able to catch the Game Awards recently, then you would have seen that it actually won Best Mobile Game.
It did, yeah, I remember this.
The same company behind that very successful game that's generated billions of dollars to date is also behind its extremely successful anime series. All the horse girls in the anime and the game are actually based off their real-life counterparts.
And the designs are amazing. I love all of the designs here. They're all very nice.
This was only possible to do after getting direct approval from each one of their owners. But that's not all, of course. They weren't just able to make an awesome game, some great anime, and respect the medium. Horse racing has been a dying sport for years now, and
this is going to bring up the attention to that and bring more people into enjoying horse racing, which I think is nice.
were able to revitalize the entire industry by bringing in such a huge amount of young people that are now interested in it thanks to the game and anime. In fact, the developer, Cygames, wouldn't just support horse racing directly by sponsoring multiple events, they would also make it a point to support retired racehorses.
See, even that, even the horses that don't race anymore, they're gonna look after them and they're gonna care for them. You see, the mobile game is outdoing PETA's and their own job.
Neglected and encouraging fans to donate to them. In fact, ever since Umamusume Pretty Derby had come out in Japan and then eventually came out globally, the Retired Horse Association of Japan, who takes care of all retired racehorses, has seen a massive surge in donations. I mean, look at this. They had created a fundraiser back in October to create a memorial for multiple retired horses that have passed away recently.
Whoa. Dang. It's one of those good aspects, people. It reminds me every day that despite all the darkness, despite all the people fighting, all the horrible things, deep down, we do have good in us.
And they were able to raise 6.3 million yen out of their 10 million yen goal. Before Umamusume, people didn't really care that much about retired horses. Now they do. Isn't that awesome?
It is amazing. And yeah, just seeing everybody come together and just completely go after them for the disrespect they did to just a great game, a great community, a great people, and a great country as well. It's wonderful to see.
Now, with all this info in mind, and this is me barely scraping the surface, by the way, how much worse does this post from PETA actually sound now? Going after a developer and a game that has done more for horses than they could ever even conceive. I mean, what a desperate cry for attention. The replies would, of course, immediately point this out, like this one that ratioed the original post by like 5 times.
Yeah, awesome. You love to see it.
Saying Umamusume does more to the
Get 'em,
welfare of the
Milky.
horses it honors than misleading and self-serving posts like this do better or be quiet. I mean, not a single one of these 11,000 replies were positive. They were just shitting on PETA's entire existence.
Good.
The audacity for an organization that euthanizes 70% of its animals to talk about euthanasia is wild.
Yeah, that's actually a very good way to describe it. The audacity of them to, again, sorry, be on their high horse about, oh, we take care of our animals, you know, how dare this game, you know, treat horse girls this way or show them racing and stuff like that. We're going to make this artwork and say that even though, you know, they're having a good time racing and, you know, they're bringing joy to millions of people, bringing amazing attention and awareness to a sport that was on the decline, no, that's bad because we say so and we're going to make this horrible artwork. I do not like PETA, never did. And this just solidifies to me it's a horrible company. And I'm glad people are also being made aware of how disgusting they truly are.
Just so you know, this was a severe leg injury that Silent Suzuka experienced on the racetrack.
Yeah, and again, the artwork is very explicit, like bone, blood everywhere. It's gore. It's, to put it simply, it is gore.
Once that happens to a horse, they are guaranteed to die a slow and painful death. Euthanasia here was actually, unlike PETA's shelters, humane. But they've lost the plot since 2003. Reasoning with them is pointless. But people decided to quote tweet them anyway because why not? They're clowns, they deserve it. This person would say the irony is that Umamusume itself is responsible for the increase of the Retired Horse Racing Association's donations and care for the animals.
Yeah, this is the good that they do. This is positive awareness. This is how you do it. This is how you help support animals in a different way.
Just this year, between Versailles Farm, Northern Farm, and Nice Nature, which are 3 different horses, they raised over $1 million combined, spread purely by the fans' love of the horses.
You know, call me a skeptic or, I don't know, a conspiracy theorist here, but part of me thinks that PETA was just really jealous of this game and, you know, all the good it was doing for horses, so they wanted to try and attack it to make themselves feel better and superior. That's just like kind of a tinfoil hat moment for me, but I just have a feeling they were very ticked off when they found out how good, you know, the game is.
Here we can see a chart of Nice Nature's birthday donation trends, and as you can see, there is a massive uptick in donations after Umamusume Pretty Derby had come
It is
out.
incredible.
I mean, it would go from 1,700,000 yen to 35 million after the game had come out.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
incredible.
multiplication of almost 35 times, and it kept rising higher and higher, reaching.
And then it jumped again, obviously, when the game became more popular and became global.
74 million in 2024. But yeah, let's make a disgusting drawing instead, criticizing the game instead of helping. I mean, PETA has no idea just how much Japanese people in general, including the voice actress of Silent Suzuka herself, hold respect for these horses. In an interview, she was literally crying over Silent Suzuka's memory, wondering if she could properly convey the spirit of this legendary horse.
Yeah, you see, again, animals mean something to people. You know, horses, horse racing and stuff, it really does mean a lot to people. Kids grew up watching them. Kids grew up watching the incredible horses doing their races, bringing cheers to thousands of people. And they really do hold those memories in high regards. So yeah, it is very nice to see them pay respects to the horses, even when they retire or even when they pass away. Nothing but respect to the voice actress here.
Do PETA employees cry when they euthanize 70% of their animals for no reason?
Of course they don't. No, they don't. They probably do it with a smile on their face. Disgusting bastards.
Reason? That's a rhetorical question. And then, of course, comes the very embarrassing community note that came in different languages. This is the Japanese one.
The Japanese community notice even came after them at all. We're teaming up against these people.
I would say this is hate speech. Might be a bit of a rough translation. Anyway, although the game Umamusume Pretty Derby is in no way opposed to PETA's philosophy of establishing and defending animal rights, this post provokes those involved with the game. Reference about PETA. So that link is meant to show you that PETA's philosophy is to stand against anyone opposed to animal rights. Cool.
And how is this game opposing animal rights in any way? Really? Give me one example. You can't, because there isn't one.
And it goes on to say, this post violates the guidelines of Umamusume Pretty Derby by denigrating the honor and rights of others, making it an antisocial post that does not follow the rules, like guidelines for derivative works of Umamusume Pretty Derby. So here we get linked to the website of Umamusume, outlining their terms of service for fan works. In a nutshell, you can create fan art, you can create fan merch, you can do all those things, but they cannot be political, they cannot be sexual, and they sure as hell cannot be gory or disturbing.
The third one obviously makes the most sense. I mean, why would you even want to draw gore artwork of this game anyway? It's literally just a nice, chill game. Why would they care about it?
That's exactly what PETA was doing. And finally, the community note would say, provocative posts intended to attract attention also have an aspect of spam and therefore violate X's terms of service. This also would be echoed by the community note in English, saying Cygames guidelines strictly prohibit violent or grotesque depictions of Umamusume characters to respect the real horses.
And that's good. That's a very good thing, and I'm glad they do that.
Using the IP for political advocacy or commercial gain is a direct violation of their derivative work guidelines. So seeing this, Twitter was overjoyed.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here come the Twitter replies.
Begging Cygames to sue the ever-living shit out of PETA.
They absolutely should.
That there's approximately 5 different violations of Umamusume community guidelines and actual grounds for a hefty lawsuit. I think it was safe to say at this point that no one was siding with PETA. But we're not just talking about the English-speaking audience here. This travesty had reached Japan, and the damage to their image there became catastrophic.
Yeah, I imagine they're not going to have a nice reaction to this at all.
A Japanese politician by the name of Kurishita Zenko, who used to be a part of the Japanese Metropolitan Assembly, would catch wind of this, and he would have something to say. It would be in Japanese, so here's the translation. He'd say, PETA, the world's largest animal rights organization, has suddenly made the following post using illustrations from Umamusume, sparking controversy. It already has a community note attached, stating it violates content guidelines, but we must re-recognize that just because it's a massive international organization doesn't necessarily mean it's fair, in reference to following the rules. He'd then reply to his own post, continuing, saying, PETA's incoherent accusations against Nintendo are still fresh in our memory.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I bet they've definitely heard about all the stuff they did, because again, Nintendo is very aware of PETA shenanigans with Pokemon amongst other games. So yeah, they definitely know about some of the stuff they've tried to pull.
It almost feels like they're targeting Japanese content. Surely there are other things they should be doing to protect animals.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, that's exactly what they should be doing, but of course they won't do it, because that's it's too taxing for them, it's too difficult.
He would continue further, referencing the article about the pet chihuahua we just saw earlier, saying, thank you for the information. I couldn't believe my eyes. Not many people in Japan know what kind of organization PETA is, so we should take this opportunity to spread the word.
Oh yeah, definitely.
See how much damage this did? Look, this philosophy of bad publicity is always good publicity? No. Japan was under the impression that PETA actually stood for animal rights. Now they're finding out what kind of organization they truly are.
And that's going to set everybody off.
In other words, they fucked around and they
found out.
But the finding out part wasn't over just yet. That's because out of nowhere, the owner of the late Silent Suzuka would say in a quote tweet,
"Oh my god, one of the best replies I've seen. Go to hell, you shitty organization. I could not have put that better myself." So absolutely based reply there. Love it.
Straight up, go to hell, you shitty organization.
Drop the bloody microphone there. Nothing else to say.
This would get 3 million views, 75,000 likes. I mean, straight up full support for this guy. And he's totally right. Someone would reply to the owner's post saying, "I remember Suzuka's fracture being a comminuted fracture where the broken bones didn't protrude out. Not an open fracture like in that organization's picture where the bone is visible from the outside. But was I wrong?" The owner would say, "That's right."
So they didn't even get the injury right either. Oh, screw you, PETA.
In other words, PETA was straight up lying. That's not how the fracture looked.
So yeah, not only did they draw a gore artwork, but they didn't even get it right either. Dogshit company.
Am I surprised? No. Someone else would reply with, "Is this the group that was saying about Mario Kart's cow putting a nose ring on it as a symbol of livestock?" This was
What, so you're saying that, are you also going to say that humans who also have a nose ring are livestock? Yeah, probably not.
in reference to what the politician had said earlier, that they had tried to go after Nintendo for this Mario Kart character. Like, how
And again, the Pokemon stuff we discussed earlier.
ridiculous is this? Their marketing campaign said, "Let cow race free, remove her nose ring." Like, surely there must be more important things to do. A few days later, the owner of the late Silent Suzuka would quote tweet the tweet we just saw where he called PETA a shitty organization and say, "The resentful voices from all over the world against that shit organization group are intense. Seriously, what the hell did they do to get hated this much? Lol."
Oh, you have no idea. Well, I guess now you will have some idea because word is finally getting out. They've established a horrible reputation over decades. They've done loads of things that have led them to this point of infamy.
Well, the Japanese people are slowly finding out.
And yes, they are.
In fact, my favorite tweet in all this, okay, was this guy going back to that dog AI-generated image of a fish being turned into sushi, quote tweeting it and saying, "It's honestly hilarious how the obese fast food nation that's all about burgers is nitpicking Japanese."
Oh, I love that. No offense to my American friends, of course, but that's objectively funny.
Sushi. PETA wasn't just ruining their reputation worldwide, they were also ruining the American reputation worldwide. Not that it was very good to begin with, but still, it's not like they need more negative shit. Overall, this whole thing was an
You see, even Reddit's getting in on this.
absolute mess, and it only served to make it known that PETA is terrible. Now everyone is starting to get aware of this. This was one of the worst decisions the social media team of PETA could have taken, and now people are simply begging Cygames to sue the ever-living shit out of them. I
They
usually try to
should.
stay neutral in my videos, but dude, even I'm hoping that happens. Okay.
Yeah, I think we can all collectively come together here and just say, screw the neutral middle ground stuff. This is disgusting. PETA should be sued for this. They're absolutely horrible. And we can all agree, just screw the company.
Okay, I truly want to see that. That would be so cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching until the end. If you're interested in the entire history of Umamusume Pretty Derby and how it came to be, as well as how it helped to revitalize the entire horse racing industry, then make sure to check out the video I made about it a few months ago called
Yeah, I might check that out. Again, if this video does well and you guys want me to watch more of Mujin's content, hopefully, again, I'm getting his name correctly, be sure to let me know. Give me some suggestions of what you guys have.
The Chaotic History of the Horse Game That Took Over the World. And if you want to get a healthy alternative to an energy drink,
Oh yeah, Gamer Sups. Awesome. A lot of my good VTubing friends like Mincy Moon, I know the likes of Berry does. I know Berry has Gamer Sups. I know Kitsunero has Gamer Sups. I know Vexoria Gamer Sups as well, so stay tuned for her video.
order it
Yeah, give them some
directly,
support.
and I'm sure you'll enjoy the product. Thank you so much again for watching the video platonically until the end, and I'll see you in the next one whenever that is. I love you so much. Mwah.
Alright, there we go, everybody. So that was how PETA turned an entire country against it overnight. A brilliant video. I'm giving this a like, and I am subscribing. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check out more of his content for sure. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed my reaction. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to become one of my disciples. Check the description if you want to join the Discord, and help me get to 5,000 subscribers before the end of 2026. But for now, I'm Doc the Damned, and I'll see you all later. Take care, my disciples.